Should you quit your 9 to 5 job and become a full-time freelancer as a sound designer? Well, in this video, I'm going to give my thoughts as far as how you go about it and whether that's a smart decision to make and things to consider. What's up, guys? My name is Christian. I am a part-time freelance sound designer. I've worked on a couple indie games. I'm also the host of the Haunted Behind the Sign podcast, where I talk to other game developers, musicians, voice actors in the game industry, and we pretty much just talk a lot about the industry and how to break into the industry, networking, how people, pretty much craft their lives within the industry to live a successful life. So yeah, basically, I wanted to make this video because it's been a little bit on my mind as far as how or whether you should go full-time freelancing, part-time freelancing, or should you just drop your 9 to 5 job altogether and take a risk? Now, I haven't gone full-time freelancing. I've always been on a part-time basis, but I will say during 2020, when we were in the pandemic during COVID, I definitely had to learn a little bit how to basically kickstart my journey as a sound designer. Just because I was actually furloughed from my job. I was actually working as a full-time audio technician, and literally during the peak of COVID, it was like I think around the mid of March or the ending of March, and then I was furloughed for pretty much 10 months. So I was basically unemployed for 10 months. So within those 10 months, I really had to do something, I mean, you can live off unemployment and we were getting free money, getting the stimulus checks and everything. But for me personally, living that type of lifestyle, just living off unemployment, stimulus money, just watching Netflix all day, was just not something I wanted to do for those past 10 months. So I basically was like, all right, let's go ahead and kickstart my journey as a sound designer. I've already considered, or at least thought about, doing something with sound design and doing something in the game industry. So let's just do it. Whatever. I have no choice. So I would just say, if you're considering leaving your full-time 9 to 5 job, especially if you're making good money, now definitely I would say, me personally, I wouldn't leave your job unless you have a backup plan. Many mentors, family, good friends of mine in the industry, especially, that I've talked to about, what was it like working in the AAA studio? Because there are some friends of mine who've worked at AAA studios and they left to go full-time indie and create their own game for themselves. And they've been pretty successful and they enjoy that lifestyle. And honestly, they would tell me oh yeah, eventually they got to the point where they couldn't do solo, they had to hire people. But going back to my other point, I would say if you want to go ahead and live off of savings, I mean, that's just something I wouldn't really recommend. But if you are going to do that, I would at least say have at least enough money in your savings or just enough cash saved up to at least give you 6 months, if not a full year, to live. So whether that's, if you're going full-time as a freelance sound designer, you have to really make sure you have a body of work to show, because becoming a freelance sound designer is not easy at all. I mean, when I started to become a sound designer, going freelance was not the first thing I did. I basically started to make stuff. And when I say make stuff, I worked on my demo reel. I worked on making my own website. And eventually I got together with a few friends of mine in the industry and started to make games and do game jams with them. And also, you can also take part of other game jams that you can look up online. You obviously have the Loom Dare, which unfortunately, I don't think they're doing it this year. But you also have the Global Game Jam. And then you have these other game jams you can look up online. They'll have special monthly themed game jams that you can do. And if you really want practice, that is the way to do it, in my opinion, because you get hands-on experience just making games and really learning what the pipeline looks like for doing sound design for video games. So yeah, I mean, so it's a complicated topic, right? Like, if you're a software engineer and you're making six figures a year, but you just don't find fulfillment doing that kind of job, and you have the urge to, either go full-time freelance as a developer or a sound designer, or heck, you can be full-time and work in retail, or you're working at fast food or something, and you're just not finding fulfillment doing those kind of jobs. I mean, there's just some people that they just don't find fulfillment at all. And I don't know, there's just this toxic mentality a little bit that I hear from people is when you work at these jobs, some people are okay hating their job, even if you're making great money. So you have to really make a decision. I mean, it's one thing if you're by yourself, you don't have a family, you're living on your own, maybe. But if you have a family or you're married and you have kids, you have to really consider that decision and really make a calculated risk, as I would like to call it, because like I said, you need to have something saved up. And if it helps, if your wife has a job also and she's willing to support you, and obviously this is something you've talked to your family about, I would also do that also, because who knows, maybe your wife or husband might be working another job, and you're not completely down in the water because you have another source of income on the side. But if you're on your own, just going cold turkey, going freelance sound design, it is hard, man. So basically, the only advice from me, I would say, is if you're going full-time freelance sound design, I would say have a body of work, create a network, make friends, go on LinkedIn, and network like heck. And when I say network like heck, it's all about building relationships with friends. You'll hear me say this all the time, is this whole industry and just getting your foot in the door is all about making friends. So I would really focus on actually having genuine conversations and building genuine relationships with people. And then if you can collaborate with some people and make a game, that's even better. If you're going to make money as a freelance sound designer, like, doing freelance is not going to cut it these days, especially with how things are. You definitely want to have multiple streams of income. Like for me, I have my podcast where I host a show where I'm basically having conversations with game industry professionals. And this YouTube channel is, obviously a new channel I started, and hopefully eventually I build a community, and hopefully I bring value to some of y'all who are on this channel or stumbled across my videos, and hopefully you'll gain some knowledge and some insight just watching these type of videos. I appreciate it. Also, if you can leave a like and comment, I would appreciate that as well. But yeah, I would say if you have multiple streams of income, like, have a music pack. If you're a composer, sell music packs, create music packs, sell them on the Unity store, sell them on the Unreal store, sell them on Indie Game Dev or our other indie game developer sites, or sell your sound design packs. Have other streams of income that you can make passively, because obviously it's going to take a while for you. If you do have a YouTube channel like me, it's going to take some time to gain the core requirements to start getting views, making money passively, and YouTube starts to monetize your videos. Same thing for Spotify. Spotify is another way you can passively, if not make some money on the side as well. And you can start a Patreon, or you can teach classes, right? Like, these are other streams of income that people do as a freelance sound designer. I've known so many sound design professionals where they not only just make money from their sound design gigs, but they actually teach classes or teach courses, or they have a newsletter of a course they sell through their email newsletter or their website, and that's how they make money also. So you have to find at least, I would say, 3 to 5 streams of income Obviously, the more streams of income you can make, the better you are. I would really consider, if you're really at that point with your job and you saved enough money to live, especially for a full year, I would say is what I would recommend. And you want to go cold turkey and go freelance sound design, be ready, man, because you have to be committed. You have to take it seriously and treat it like it's a job, you know? I still have a hard time being motivated to make videos, you know? And when I say like not voted to make videos, I mean, I love what I do. It's just, I have a podcast. I do some part-time freelance work. If I don't have any gigs lined up for the time being, I'm working on other stuff. I'm working on my sound design skills, whether it's redesigns or messing with middleware and Wise, practicing that, making music packs, whatever. Like there's a lot of stuff to work on. And it's pretty challenging to juggle all of that, especially, if you're into working out like me. I mean, I haven't been to the gym for, a bit, but I like to go to the gym every week. And yeah, just when you have a 9-to-5 job and you like to go to the gym, and then after you do that, you come back home, you eat, you shower. I mean, you're just exhausted most of the time. So if you come to the point in your career or your journey, especially as someone who's just wants to make games, or they want to become a full-time sound designer and do that as a freelance type of deal and make money freelancing, I would definitely say really have a plan set and have a backup plan, because just in case if things just don't go well and things aren't sticking for the full year and you're just not landing any gigs, or you're just not making money at all. Because if you're not making money at all for a full year doing this, like, you really have to consider, like, is this worth taking the risk for another year? I only have this X amount of money saved up. And again, if you're living on your own, maybe it's not as high pressure. I mean, it's definitely going to be a different dynamic of pressure. But if you have a family, wife and kids, then yeah, you're going to have to really, really consider that variable that's going to factor in if that's something you're going to do. But I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, if you came to this video and you're on the fence, feel free to comment about, what you think. And if you want to email me directly, I'll leave in the description below so you can reach out to me. We could talk about it. And, if you want to spend like 10 minutes, have a call or something, I would love to talk to you. And, just have someone to talk to and give you more thoughts about this kind of stuff. Anyways, guys, as always, if you're new to this channel and you found this video somewhat helpful and you gained some value, feel free to subscribe to the channel. And yeah, that way you can stay notified. Obviously, click the notification bell also, because sometimes YouTube is a little bit funky when it comes to notifying people about my videos. But again, guys, as always, I will see you guys on the flippity flop.